We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Izuku, he don't live in reality. Shake back off, become a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Was Rover. This is part 2, and honestly, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate all the support that you did for that of the last 2 parts. Maybe not gotten a lot of too much traction, but at least enough that I feel like I can keep this series going for a good while. So again, thanks, guys. It really does mean a lot. Any rate, let's go with that of a quick recap. In the last part, we went over on that of Izuku now having that of a better understanding of his new abilities as a resonator, or as having a fragment of Rover's memories and his powers. Better control of his hearing and abilities, memorize and replicate his fighting style pretty easily without even breaking a sweat, and also has gained that of so much aura, as he still plans on going to UA and still plans on wanting to be a hero no matter what. His relationship with Baku, on the other hand, is, I wouldn't say it's strained, just more like, well, you got that one friend who basically feels like he has to be the first of everything, so you basically have to try and not get on his bad side, or rather, you just don't give a damn and you're just gonna feel like doing your own thing. Yeah, that's currently Izuku and Bakugo's relationship. On the way to gaining that of his new sword from Tadazatsu, he soon runs into that of a bunch of guys ganging up on that of a girl, trying to, well, threaten her to give up that of a special made guitar. However, Izuku wouldn't let this, as he basically beats them and humbles the hell out of them, without even trying after all, as this would be his first interaction with Kyoka Jiro, and then gaining that of his new sword, as it's called the Command and Conquer, a custom-made Chinese Dao sword, even channel his resonator abilities through that of the blade due to the unique frequencies that he can hear and replicate it with his powers, as Izuku is ready for his training to get into UA. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? A few months have now gone by. Izuku has basically started training with that of his newest sword, practicing day in and day out, even developing new techniques and abilities, even helping out, even basically improving that of his special-made hearing after all, especially with that of his hearing aids. Surely, he does have to deal with that of Bakugo's basically bullshit day in and day out and all that. Trying to convince him to not imply for that of UA after all, that there's still time to go to somewhere else, as he wants to be the only one from the shitty school that is Aldera Junior High to go to UA after all. Trying to perfect his perfect origin story, which in effect, that's far from a perfect origin story. It just basically said you came from a shitty school to that of the best school. Nothing else. Hell, if anything, it basically just symbolizes that you are a big fish in a small ass pond. A big nobody in a small pond of nobodies. A hero origin story doesn't start when you get into the school. It starts the very moment that you're inspired to do something heroic after all. Or tragic. Depends on how you see it. For Izuku's origin, it all started when he awakened his powers. When he awakened, he found out that he was or is a copy of Rover. That he wouldn't let this handicap of his hearing, basically of him constantly hearing everything and everyone and every unknown frequency, hold him back, as he would basically improve no matter what. However, there's a part of him that feels like he's being limited, or he's limiting himself. For the past few years, he's learned that he has the power of Spectro after all. In simpler terms, the power of light, as some people want to call it after all. Spectro basically manipulates that of light, sounds, and energy, altering the molecular levels to create that of barriers of light, blades of light, and even that of, well, changing that of anything made out of matter, either obliterating it entirely with that of a high frequency wave. As it's become quite versatile, he's found so many ways to basically do it, like soften his landing if he has to jump pretty high, alter his molecular density to make him more, well, heavy, even create light constructs of his sword whenever he needs to. Hell, and his favorite, basically atomizing anything that comes in near in contact with with his light. By changing the frequency, he can basically disperse and erase anything that comes near it, based on the sound and frequency and the wavelength of what's coming near that of Izuku after all. It's so perfect, and yet he still feels like there's so much more he can access, but he just doesn't know how, at least not yet. While continued training and improving, he soon actually got to meet with that of Kyokajiro actually. The two ended up becoming acquaintances and then friends a few times as Izuku goes to that of her family store, finding out that her parents are great musicians, possibly even the best, to be honest, with Izuku asking on why she didn't want to become a musician just like them, as she can basically get into any good music school across the country if she wanted to, because of her parents' fame. With Kyoka giving a pretty good answer that actually couldn't help but inspire Izuku himself, with him remembering those words while training, saying, "I just want to make people smile, either with music or as a pro. That's just what I want. Just want to help people." And I think protecting and inspiring people is what makes a true hero. With those very words, Izuku is even more determined to get into UA no matter what. Even finding out that she's also going into UA too, making their connection even stronger. With then, Izuku finishing off his training session with one slash that sends that of a powerful wet shockwave, as the shockwave basically makes indents into several trees. With then spinning the blade around before then sheathing it behind him without even looking. As he can help but smile, saying, "I think I've improved quite a bit, but it's mainly in that of swordplay. I still feel like there's still so much more I can improve." As then he turns back the normal setting of his, hearing aids. As he's about to walk away, that's when he begins to hear a unique frequency and sound. A sound so unique that it almost feels familiar. It almost feels like he's heard it so many times. But this is the first time he's ever heard it though, as it's farther into that of the woods. The same woods that he and Bakugo used to play in when they were kids back in the day, when their friendship wasn't as much volatile that it is now. Before thinking, should I figure out that frequency? Should I follow after it? Nah, shouldn't. To be honest, as much as I want to, I don't want to worry Mom, and it feels familiar, but it also feels a little bit eerie. Maybe another time. As he soon adjusts his hearing aids again before walking off. However, little did Izuku know he was being watched. Watched by somebody who looks at Izuku quite fondly. as she says one word, Rover. On his way back home, he begins to adjust his hearing aids a little bit, as even though messing with his hearing aids could be a little bit of a pain in the ass, and as a way to help him focus a lot more, to block out certain sounds after all and frequencies, he likes to try and hear whenever he can after all. It helps him get a better feel of the city and of Masafu after all. Like, there are so many sounds that not even the pros or even that of the police can hear. So there are even some things that even Izuku can hear, and even though it seems a little bit illegal, helping out like somebody like Kyoka isn't his first time doing it after all. He's done it so many times that it's not even funny. Hell, the city has basically made him out to be that of a vigilante by the name of the Ghost Guardian. As Izuku basically comes in, swoops down, beat a few villains here and there, saves a person, and then just dips. There are only a few times where he sticks around to make sure that the victim is taken care of, like that of Kyoka after all. But a majority of the time, he's basically just there one moment and basically gone the next. Probably because he's developed that of his own. He's able to basically run up walls and all that too, due to his ability to manipulate the vibrations and sounds beneath his feet to do so after all. As he adjusts his frequency, but then he begins to hear somebody basically panting, almost like they're basically going through some pain, or it doesn't sound like pain, like they're in pain or anything, more like they're exhausted or fatigued. But then, trying to listen to that sound and focusing on it, as he gets closer and closer and closer to it, as he reaches a specific alleyway that's not that far from his house, that's pretty far from his house actually, in his apartment complex. Within, noticing somebody in the alleyway, as it looks like that of a young girl. Seems like the same age as Izuku actually, with that of messy hair actually, and a uniform, and it looks like that of a middle school uniform. Within, hearing the breathing over and over again, he can help but say, "Hey, are you okay?" Within, without warning, that's when the girl basically lunges straight for Izuku, as then Izuku, and also in his own brand of instinct and warning, one hand flips backwards, basically kicking the girl in the process, before then using that his sword to basically pin her to the wall. With then adjusting a few of his hearing aids, begins to hear that of her erratic heartbeat. With then thinking, what the? So, some kind of villain, I'm guessing? Not surprising, but still. Within thinking, I've seen a few villains go through that of a withdrawal a few times, who attack people, but I don't see any withdrawals at all. Besides no cut marks, no injections, nothing around her body that says that she's an addict. So why the hell is she acting like this? Then, looking around even more, before it then, noticing that of, blood marks on that of her hands, is then getting a closer look at them, seeing that they are actually inflicted by bite marks. Within saying, did she bite her fingers? Why? Then, as for the girl herself, and her own mental thoughts saying, damn it, I'm just so hungry. Why? Within looking back at Izuku, is then her eyes couldn't help but basically widening, as she goes to that of her own self-inflicted realization saying, Saito? Within realizing that the person she says that Izuku looks like actually somewhat does look exactly like him. The only difference is Izuku has that of freckled cheeks and semi-green hair, while the guy she's thinking about has that of pure black hair and a flawless skin. But after that, she's saying, no, it can't be. I killed him after all, to drink his delicious blood, and yet somebody looks exactly like him. Maybe Maybe this is fate. Maybe I'll finally die as I should have done years ago. Hearing that of her breathing basically calming down, saying, a lot more calm now? Good. Before then removing that of his sword from her back, with then no longer pinning her to the wall, as she's completely utterly shocked. Within, looking back at Izuku in that of confusion, saying, now, care to explain why you tried to attack me? Look, I'm here to help. You just need to talk, and then I'll try and see what I can do. Within, hearing that, she's saying, you want to help me? Saying, well, duh. Of course I do. Why wouldn't I want to help you? Within hearing that, she's completely and utterly shocked, saying, I tried to attack you. Most people would basically call the heroes by that time, saying, sure, you did attack me, but you're a lot more calm and speaking rashly. Most villains would attack me, or people going through that withdrawals would continue to try to attack me. You're not going through a unique form of withdrawal after all, so I figured, want to talk and explain things to me? Within hearing that, she's saying, you're a weird guy, you know that? But then he's saying, yeah, get that a lot. Before stepping back to the wall and saying, so, go ahead. Before then saying, my name is Himiko Toga. You. Then Izuku introduces himself. Izuku Midoriya, third year of Aldera Junior High. You? But her saying, Sakuken Junior High School. Well, former third year actually. Within hearing that, Izuku saying, former third year? What happened? Within she's saying, you really want to know? I mean, you seem like one of those goodies after all. One of those people who would turn in a villain no matter what. Saying, you don't seem like the villainous type. Saying, you think that now. But if you knew what I did, saying, as Izuku cuts her off saying, just go ahead. I'm all ears. But then the girl fully introduces herself as Himiko Toga, as she did before. That she used to be that of a typical normal girl, outside of one thing, her quirk, transformation, as she always had a fascination and love for blood, and drinking it too. She always couldn't help but like it, but her parents basically said that she's a monster, that liking blood is that all they ever wanted was just a normal, regular daughter, forced her into that of quirk therapy, that basically forced her to suppress her quirk urges after all, to basically drink and like blood. She was your typical, everyday, normal junior high girl after all. Spotless both in that of academics, clubs, and everything else. She was considered just another normal girl in the crowd. Until it all snapped. She basically saw the guy she had a crush on get into a fight defending one of his friends. At that very moment, it all snapped. The very next day, she ended up basically confessing her feelings to that same guy by the name of Saito by slitting his throat and drinking his blood with a straw. At that very moment, she felt like herself, felt entirely, absolutely, positively happy, in absolute bliss. But when she realized what she did, there was no turning back. She had to run. The heroes would be after her. People have basically said horrible things about her. They even asked her parents on why this all happened. She even saw the very interview with that of her parent on what her parents said, that they tried their best to make her as normal as possible. But that girl is far from anything. She's a monster, a demon, a villain. Within hearing all of this, Izuku couldn't help but feel sorry for her. If anything, he can't help but actually empathize with her. I mean, he won't lie. Her killing her classmate is basically twisted, but by basically what she's been saying, she's basically going through quirk withdrawals. Her quirk must be her diet alongside that of her stability must be tied to blood. If she doesn't gain blood in some way or another, she can't act normally or basically seem like a normal person at all. in their definition of normal, they were basically abusing her. Hearing all that, Izuku couldn't help but get absolutely pissed by this. Not angry at that of Toga, but angry at that of her parents, for the ones that they are the ones who caused this, not her. And yet she's the one suffering for her parents' mistakes. Within him couldn't help but say, Miss Toga, you need blood, right? Within, she's saying, yeah. After saying that, he soon sheaths his sword. He sheaths that of his sword, before then pricking that of his hand, before making a diagonal cut down the palm of his hand, within showing the blood. Before then, she completely and utterly shocked by this, as then she putting the sword into the ground, rushing towards Toga, grabbing her by that of her waist, and then as she's completely blushing, before then slamming his bloody paw into that of her mouth, as she begins to drink and suck from that of the bloody wound. But then she couldn't help but feel absolutely at bliss right now. Or not only that, she also feels like her mental functions are basically coming to her more and more. No longer basically panting in that withdrawal or basically in starvation. Within, soon removing that of his hand from her mouth, as seeing that of the blood smears on around that of the corners of her mouth. Then saying, why did you needed blood and I wanted to help you out. Before then, spectral power to basically seal the wound with his light, cauterizing it even though it caused quite a bit of pain to do so, as doing so basically made his hand entirely numb at the same time. Within saying, why? As then, he's saying, I won't say that I justify you basically killing your classmates. If anything, you really do need to turn yourself in, Miss Toga. However, before then, grabbing that of his bag, saying, I think you actually need help too. And I feel like the police aren't going to listen to you mainly because of three things. You killed your classmates and you also ran away. And that with that of your parents, with that interview that you said that they did, it's not going to be easy for you. So you're definitely going to need to stay on the run and hide for yourself. But I also can't allow you to hurt other people. Either it be villains, civilians, or even heroes themselves. So anytime that you feel like you're needing the cravings or you need blood to survive, before then pulling out one of his notebooks into that of one of an empty page, before then tearing that page, showing that of Izuku, showing that of certain address to meet Izuku and to call him in case as well with his phone number. And she's saying, why would you, saying, I plan on becoming a hero and helping somebody like you, somebody that society basically abandoned when they needed you the most, is more important than abiding by the law right now. Within hearing that, is then saying, catch you later, Miss Toga. Within walking out the alleyway, at that very moment, Himiko Toga basically felt that of her heartbeat basically racing, her face completely going red, looking at that of Izuku. As he walks out of the way, she couldn't help but basically fantasize about that of Izuku, as this kid basically became her ideal hero. Arriving back at that of his apartment complex, within saying, I'm home, Mom. But then she's saying, Izuku, what took you so long? Saying, sorry, got held up after all. Within saying, is everything okay? Saying, yeah, everything's alright. Just streets got blocked off due to a villain attack. Nothing major. And nothing too crazy. As he lies basically pretty easily, even though it's a pretty stupid lie, with Inko saying a villain attack, but there was nothing on the news about it that's around the area. So is it just a small villain attack, nothing major? As Izuku still says this quietly, within she's saying, just please be more careful, Izuku. I know you're capable of handling yourself, but still can't help but worry. Within Izuku saying, don't worry, Mom, I promise. I'm fine. But then she's saying, oh, I almost forgot. Here you go. As she heads over to that of dinner table, within offering that of a letter towards Izuku, saying, a letter? What is it? With her saying, it's a, I was surprised by this too. It showed up in the mail about this today. I didn't have a chance to show you it, but it's surprising. Within, looking at the letter, saying, Izuku Midoriya, congratulations. I see you with that of great potential and talent after all. If you plan on going to any hero school of your choosing, then you have my recommendation. Sincerely yours, the number 15 Pro Puppet Mistress. Within, hearing this, saying, wait, seriously? Puppet Mistress? She of all people? Within, Inko saying, is she a pro hero? Saying, hell, she's one of the best pro heroes. She's an underground pro, but yet she's surprisingly in that of the rankings. Mainly because nobody knows what she looks like outside of her hero name. Not even people know about her quirk. Heck, I don't even know about it. As Izuku remembers all of the hero forms that he goes on about that of certain pro heroes, even that of underground pros that normally stay out of the rankings. She's one of the only underground pro heroes that not only that people don't know what she looks like or what her quirk is, she's still in that the top 10, the top 15 rankings, showing on how skilled she is even without people knowing her. But then Izuku can't help but get excited by this, but then thinking, as much as I want to take this opportunity, I'd rather not. But then, Incoherent is saying, Izuku, saying, sorry, mom, but I feel like I still want to take the entrance exam. I want to earn my spots, and I hear that the recommendation exam is just as tough, possibly even tougher. I'm glad that a pro hero, especially a top-ranking pro like this, recommended me, but I want to earn my spot, and I want to prove it too. Then, hearing that, taking the letter with him into his bedroom, as he opens the door saying, I'm gonna get ready to take a bath, Mom. Tell me when dinner's ready, okay? Saying, oh, I will. Surprised that you're not wanting to take it, Izuku. Saying, hey, it's just my own decision, and what I decided for myself. After saying that, he soon closes the door, as the real reason on why he actually decided not to take it is he feels like there's something more to this than just that of, seeing his potential. It's more surprising that even a pro hero saw his potential to begin with, especially since he goes to that of a, dead end, basically not even that well-renowned prep school that is Aldera Junior High after all. Hell, if anything, if a pro hero wanted somebody, they would want somebody like that of, Bakugo, like Kachan and his quirk. It's loud and obnoxious, but it's flashy enough and powerful enough that any pro would want it. His quirk, on the other hand, or rather his power as a resonator, basically takes years of mastering it and understanding it to a thorough degree, and yet a pro hero noticed him at that. Then, thinking, just who you are, Puppet Mistress. And what game are you really playing? As Izuku's life continues to become more and more interesting as time goes on. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, sorry that this wasn't a fully action-packed chapter, but this is also an important chapter for multiple reasons. One, I feel like many of you guys have asking who is the main love interest for Izuku? And I will tell you this now, no one. There is no main ship in this at all. And I will also say this now, there's also no harem either. If you guys have played Wuthering Waves, then you know that a lot of girls pine for that of Rover. And some guys too as well, but they always seem more platonic and all that, so I decided to do the same thing. A lot of girls pining for that of Izuku, but he won't be basically, interacting with them at all. So the ship is basically non-existent. Also, not only that, I'm also trying to do something with this What If too. Do you guys think it's okay for me to put Wuthering Waves characters in this What If for the story after all? Do you think I could improve it, or do you think it's going to be too much and I'm just adding shit for just to add shit? I'll probably make a poll to see if I should add Withering Waves characters and resonators, or should I not? Up to you guys, after all, once this comes out. At any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification key to date my videos uploaded to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my other channel, my side channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App, alongside my PayPal as well. All link in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care. Do your thing, my Shiro.
Hi, everyone. This is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!